branding is hugely important. Consistency in brand, and of course, being in touch with your clients. Part of the branding side as well is making sure that I was branding myself, but making sure that you're letting people know that you're in the business.
Hi, welcome to the Realtors Conspiracy Podcast. I'm here today with Nathan Bradford from Century 21 Dreams. And Nathan, you've been working as a realtor. You did large team, small team on your own. You focus a lot on buyers and everything. Do you want to tell us about your background and your experience as a realtor?
Yeah, absolutely. So I registered as a salesperson in real estate in 2008. So that's 12 years ago now. 12, just over 12 years, or just at 12 years, and then registered as a broker 4 years ago. So I moved up to that broker level just to enhance the education and to the services that I provide to clients. You're right that I've been sort of in all different aspects of it. I've been on smaller teams. I've been on larger teams. I've on my own for a number of years as well. And I also managed for a brokerage for about a year or so within the last year before coming back to sales.
Yeah, that gives you a huge, wide array of experience and all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And just as a side to that, prior to in real estate, I was in the retail level, and again managing at that level for an international brand, and just focusing on the client retention, the client buy cycle, and making sure that clients know that where they can come back and just chat and building those relationships with everybody. So very heavily client focused in that sort of sense, and learned that in the real estate from all the team leaders that I've been with as well. There's some that are very heavily focused, obviously, on sales. Some are more on marketing only, and others are very data driven as well, which is good. So it's been a really good breadth of experience that I've moved around and learned from to maximize my personal business.
Yeah. And what do you feel is your approach? Are you more sales, data, lead generation? What's your approach?
I think I see a little bit of everything off of all that. I do like to build relationships with clients, and in fact, my wife is a big part of our business as well. And all my clients get to know and meet my wife throughout the process, and we work closely together. She's not registered, so obviously there's limited things that she's able to do in the business, but she's definitely a big part of it. Mm-hmm. And so that just helps build the relationship side of things. My marketing background is focused on pretty much all of when it comes to listings, marketing is online, and I use Facebook a lot in dark posting. So you don't see a big, huge website presence from me currently anyway. I just find that the dollar spend is better on the direct marketing to those who are going to find the use of the home.
Yeah, makes sense. What would be a quality that you have that got you to where you are today? What's your strongest strength, I guess?
I've always said that I'm able to sort of take information that I've gathered over the years and display it or put it across in a way that's easy to understand, so that my clients don't either get nervous when they're looking through a house. For example, when we're looking at homes, I'm going to point out things that I've learned from the number of home inspections that I've been involved with, and things that we're watching for, and educating the client through all of that. Mm-hmm. Even if they're an experienced purchaser that's been, purchased a number of homes, there's still going to be things that they're going to overlook. Everybody starts getting, they prefer, the pretty stuff and things that makes them look good and feel good, but we want to make sure that the house they're buying is also going to be something that they're not going to have to dump a whole bunch of money into as soon as they move into, unless that's what they're looking for, of course.
Yeah, but structurally to see behind the
things like the furnace. Although I can't open an electrical panel, I can at least look at the panel and see what's going into it. If the wires are a mess all around it, it's a little bit of a flag, or then we can also,
it's like so messy. It's like
exactly. You see some, or you go into a basement and you see wires are just they're just hanging underneath the rafters and all that, and you kind of be a little bit nervous about that. But even noticing in the basement, if it's been finished, if you can tell if they've used metal studs. And if they've used metal studs, then I look to see where the wiring going through those studs are, and if the people have actually used grommets or not. Because again, in learning from a previous home inspection way back when, a
Yeah.
client, it was a listing, and he hadn't done that, so he had to cut out the bottom 3 feet of his drywall all the way through the basement and install them all.
Oh,
Right. So it was a little bit of effort and a learning curve, and it helps me to what to look for to help
yeah.
my clients going forward.
Makes sense. Very cool.
Hmm.
You talked about your marketing background too. That's one of your strengths for sure. I see
Hmm.
your branding was really fun and sleek to work on. Um,
Yeah.
how did you how do you think or feel about branding?
Branding is hugely important, if hugely is an English word or not. But I've always, well, I went to college for business marketing, so right from the beginning, it was all on the branding side of things as well. Like I said, it was a top national, international brand that I worked for, so I learned about that consistency in brand as well. And then, of course, when I joined real estate, my first company was with Remax, and now with Century 21. They're globally recognized brands.
Yeah.
Then when you break it down into a personal level of things, it's just sort of setting yourself slightly different from the rest in that sort of sense, or as different as we can, because obviously, as we know in this industry, a lot of people tend to copy a lot of other people,
Yeah.
which is good. You copy the best stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I've been trying to keep it fresh
Yeah.
in that. And so I've always liked something very clean and simple. The BG that you guys worked with, actually, that was my wife's idea, as well as part of that with the backwards B.
Mhm.
And so taking on the samples that you guys gave us, which was wonderful, and the colors, just very clean, sleek. The BG works for obviously Bradford Group, but also Bradford Grant, which is the hyphenation of my last name. So it kind of all works together. And then the colorings is, my wife says I look good in blue. So
Yeah. That's funny, but no, it is. It's sleek.
yeah,
It's recognizable.
and gray, of course.
Yeah.
I'm on brand in my office. What
You're
can I say?
branded. Yeah, all through. I love it.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
cool. And what would you say three actionable things that you've done in your career that you strongly believe were things that got you moving?
That's a really good question. It's a lot of it has been just that desire to move forward. Of course, everybody has their needs that we need to do to survive. So finding that right niche, real estate was something that even back when I was in, I don't know if it was high school, but definitely college, that had interested me. My great uncle was a real estate agent down in the Niagara region for a number of years. And actually, and when we first started thinking about buying, when I was still in college, he was showing us around, and just wasn't the right time for us then. But that sort of piqued my interest in it there,
Yeah.
and a few professors were as well. Took a number of years for me after college to actually end up doing the courses and all of that. So just that initial need. Obviously, a company that I was working for at one time was starting to close down, so I needed to look for something else as well.
Hmm.
um, and just my desire to work with clients and make sure that they're happy. In the actually just 2 weeks ago, a client, an elderly client, looking to sort of downsize,
Hmm.
had some frustrations in looking for houses and all that, and the one that we got, when I called her to tell her that she got the sale, it was breaking down in tears, and it's just that sort of reaction just sort of just touches you and gets to you all the time. And that's sort of one of the big motivations for me as well, is making sure that people are happy in the end.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. What's
Hmm.
the best advice you've ever received as a realtor?
Make sure people know that you're there.
Ah, nice.
um, Actually, I have to give this one out to Drew from Drew Wolcott.
Okay.
His biggest thing, part of the branding side as well, is making sure that I was branding myself, but making sure that you're letting people know that you're in the business,
Yeah.
and having your brand out there. And so I'm working on that, continue to work on that as we go. Just doing a refresh on my Instagram page right now to pull in all the brand colors and set everything up as you're supposed to, and then kind of work from there.
Keep consistency and
Consistency and brand, and of course being in touch with your clients.
yeah, very cool. Very cool. What advice would you give to someone who's starting out, who doesn't know where to go, what to do, where to focus your energy when you're first starting?
Well, in today's world, I would say a lot of agents, their best way to start out would be to get onto a team, and one of the not necessarily doesn't have to be one of the top teams by any mean, but work with an experienced agent, and get to know the business that way with them. Another tip that I had received when I first started was to get in as many houses as you can. When you're going to specifically focus in an area, get in the areas that you know first off, so areas that you live in or grew up in.
Hmm.
We don't have as many as agent open houses right now, but they're starting to come back now that
Sure.
things are opening up. We can do open houses now. So take those days that your board offers the agent open houses and get in them, so you get to see as many houses as you can, and that helps with the pricing and knowing your pricing. So when you're driving through a neighborhood, or a client calls you on a property and say, "What do you think about this?" You can almost look at it pretty quickly and say, "Yeah, you know what, they're kind of high, or they've obviously priced this for competition, or whichever."
Yeah.
Um, I, I I don't believe it, but I'm told, and I guess I look at it and I see it happen every time. Someone asks me, "What's that house going to sell for?" And I tell them, and I'm usually within $5,000 or $10,000. If they're either way high and it should go a lot lower, I'm fairly accurate in that, and it kind of blows me away afterwards. But
Because it's all the experience you've had. How,
yeah, and just being in as many as I can to get that knowledge, and I don't let personal biases get in the way of a pricing as well. So just because I don't necessarily like something, you can look at finishes in detail, and sometimes quality. Unfortunately, quality doesn't make as big of a difference these days as it used to when it comes to buy people's buying decisions.
mhm.
But you can pretty much pick up what's going on, what's going to happen with most things.
Yeah, yeah. 'Cause sometimes the black kitchen might not be your style, but it's just a renovated
Yeah,
kitchen versus
exactly,
an outdated one. Makes sense.
exactly.
Cool. What are you excited about coming up this year or the next few months? What's
You know what? I'm actually really excited to be focusing again more on my personal side of things, the personal business.
Mhm.
Getting back with the clients the year that I took away. I wasn't fully away from clients by any means, but it wasn't a focus. And so just getting back with clients and getting that feeling that I had, like I said a couple of weeks ago with that one client.
Yeah,
It's just that's what excites me and gets me going in the morning.
nice. Very cool.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, where do we find you? Contact info, website.
Contact info. So info at nathanbradford.com is my email address. Websites, let's use bradfordgroup.ca
Okay.
is the best one to start using on that. My cell phone, 289-838-2505. I have to think about that. Don't call myself too frequently.
And then Facebook, Instagram, your
Facebook, Instagram. Like I said, Instagram is going through a bit of a refresh, so that username has been recently changed to at bradfordgroup.ca as well for that. Facebook is Nathan Bradford Broker. Yeah, so a
nice.
number of places everywhere.
Very cool. Awesome. Well,
Mhm.
thank you. Thanks for sharing your story. That was awesome.
Oh, I really appreciate the time, and thanks for having me on. I've been looking forward to and hoping to do this for quite a while now.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Lauren.